What's up, everybody? This is your boy Pootah in the building. I got Miss Rapsody on the phone, on the line. What's going on, Rapsody?
What's up, my man? How you doing?
I'm doing good. Now, I want to talk about the name Rapsody because, when I say it too fast in Atlanta, and of course you're from the South, I start talking too fast. People, I was like, man, I got a big interview with Rapsody, next week. They was talking about Rap City, and stuff like that. So I know that's pretty annoying for you and stuff like that. So can you break down the name and how you got it?
That's hilarious. That's when I first got to the studio, working with Nights or whatever. Everybody, that was like a running joke. People used to call me 5 p.m. or Rap City because of the basement.
Yeah.
But, I got the name. I got the name just reading the dictionary. Like I was trying to work on my vocabulary, expand my words. So I would read the dictionary sometimes, like years and years ago. And I came across Rapsody, and I just loved the definition and the look of it. And it was basically words spoken with great emotion, poetry spoken with great emotion. And to me, at the time, I was doing spoken word. And, when I thought about music and hip-hop, that's what music, and it sounded like to me. It was poetry, but spoken with emotion in a rhythmic way. So, I just took out the H and just ran with that.
Okay, so I want to talk about Laila's wisdom now. I saw an interview. Your grandmother, Miss Laila, has 100 plus grandkids. So I bet you it was a time where you had to try to compete for your grandmother's time.
No, never.
Never.
Between first, second, third cousins, it's like 150 of us. So we never had to compete for time. Like, it was an open door. We had a big family. She showed all of us the same amount of love. So, that's the family that I was raised in. There was no jealousy. There's no egos. Everybody, that's just the family. I was raised well in a really good family. So, we never worried about competing for the time or who got to eat the last biscuit.
Yeah. So,
it was all cool.
So, what is the biggest lesson your grandmother instilled in you and still travels you and help you out throughout your course of your career or even your personal life?
Just to treat people with love and respect. That was the biggest thing. Treat people how you want to be treated. Be a good person. So that's been a big thing in me and my whole family. So I just show love to people because she showed love to us, and she showed us how to love other people in her actions. So that was her way of giving flowers and to show us how to give flowers in our life. So that was probably the biggest lesson I learned.
So the lessons was basically turned into the flowers, and that kind of went hand in hand with the album cover because it's a lot of flowers and stuff on like that.
Yeah, definitely. I just took this quote that she had to give me my flowers while I could still smell them and apply it to the music. Like, well, how can I give flowers, to inspire and just to give something that's going to sit with people, that they're going to carry and they're going to connect with. So I just wanted to make honest music, that was life music that people can, really relate to. And that was me in a musical way, giving people flowers. Okay,
so now, throughout the course, of your career in life, dope MC, I don't want to just put a label on you as a female because I know how irritating and, things like that, could be for a female. So I'm just going to label you're a dope MC. Now, by you being a dope MC and other women that are rappers and performers, they're showing off their skin and their bodies, but you don't do that sort. And typically, the dope MC is like, quote unquote, slept on, and the women that shows the skin is more that they will take off like a rocket. Now, is that, kind of add like fuel to the fire or frustrations, or just explain your emotions when you deal with stuff like that? Because you are a real talent, and other women, they just getting the look because of, their appearance.
You know, that's a society we live in. You know, sex sells, even with guys. Guys walk around with no shirt on because women like to see their bodies. I mean, you know, that's just the society we live in. But at the same time, just because you have female artists that, you know, are proud of their bodies and show their bodies doesn't mean that they're not talented. That's, you know, at the end of the day, all I've ever, you know, championed was balance in hip hop, you know, balance in mainstream. So, you know, I grew up on MC Lyte and Queen Latifah, but I also listened to Little Kim and Foxy Brown, and they were all dope. You know, some were close, some were not, but, you know, they were dope artists, and they were all different, but there was this balance. So, you know, outside of me loving music, like, my purpose was just to bring balance to hip hop too, as a female, as a woman in hip hop. But, you know, did it make me like hate the next woman? No. You know, I'm about sisterhood, and we all can coexist together. If you love your body and you want to flaunt your body, then do your thing. At the end of the day, as long as me or you or whoever else can wake up and look ourselves in the mirror and be happy with the reflection that we see, that's all that matters. But, you know, there just needs to be balance in hip-hop, and that's not always up to us. You know, it's more so, you know, your record labels and the media and television, like what they decide to put in our faces. So, you know, shout out to all the girls doing their thing. As long as you're happy at the end of the day, you know, I always focus on the music. I just wanted to make great music. I wanted to be one of the best. Still want to be one of the best to ever do this. I want to make timeless music. So my whole thing was just fighting for the respect and for the ear, just for people to listen. And that was my focus. Everything else was falling into place, but I just knew I could never be influenced by anything that was around me, you know, and to keep the blinders on and just focus on being myself.
So, speaking back to something, you know, you just said earlier in that statement, you know, you was talking about Foxy Brown and Little Kim and also Queen Latifah and MC Lyte. Now, in the 80s and the 90s, women were coming together and doing records, you know, example, Ladies Night, you know, Queen Latifah, Roxanne Shante, all of these people. But now women aren't, you know, teaming up together. It's like, you know, a group of women, they're teaming up on one, or, you know, it just everybody in their separate way. You know, why do you think it's so different from now and then?
Yeah, because, you know, I think that's what they feel like the people want. Mm-hmm. It's come to a time where, you know, reality TV is big and everybody's addicted to drama, and, you know, the media puts it out there that there only can be one, and you're supposed to compete with other women only, you know, for this one spot. Like, that's this false narrative, and if you don't have the right people around you to tell you that doesn't have to be the story, it doesn't have to be that, you know, it's easy to get caught up into, you know, it just becomes a rat race and really competitive in that way. So, you know, I just think that might be part of it, you know, but yeah, I mean, that's just what people put their energy into. I get tweets all the time, you know, put out an album and, you know, I'll get a tweet, oh, you need to go at such and such, or, oh, if you say Nicki's name, you get a lot of press, or, you know, it's just like, I don't fall into that trap, though. I don't believe in that, so that's just what it is, you know. We as people have to not fall for the banana in the tailpipe that the media tells us that there only can be one. You can like a Cardi B and you can like a Rapsody. You can enjoy and listen to them both. You know, there's a time for both of us. So, you know, we just have to understand, like, you know, like, we can't fall for this false narrative. It's not real, so.
So, I'm going to tell you a story the other night about one of your songs that got me in trouble with my girlfriend, my parents, a lot of this stuff. So I'm already late to my parents' house as it is. So, you know, I listen to, you know, Joe Budden podcast a lot, and they was championing your music, you know, on there. And I heard Power. This is my first time hearing Power ever. So I'm downtown Atlanta. I'm driving, and my girlfriend and my newborn daughter is in the back seat. I stopped the car put it in part just to listen because it was so great, man. But it, got me in trouble. But it was worth it because I haven't heard a song like that in a while, man. And I would just like to say that's a very phenomenal song. But I hope you guys are pushing that because I like it and a lot of other people like it.
Oh, definitely, Jamla, Rock Nation, Def Jam, they're really supportive. They love the album, so, we're gonna do all we can, to make sure we get it to all the listeners, but on the other end, some people it's really not always up to us. We can do our job, but, people will look at me and it's like, I ain't never heard of her before, so I'm not gonna listen. Or she's a female. I don't listen to female rappers. I'm not going to listen. So, again, that's the fight. We have to get out of this box of letting things like celebrity and fame and gender define if something is going to be good or not. And just, listen to new artists. But, I have a very supportive team, so I'm excited. And I'm happy that you like the record, man. I'm sorry you got in trouble.
It's all good.
I'm sorry.
It's all good. Now, early on, I'm listening to the record. Of course, it's talking about different power, and you stated early in the record about using your blackness as power. Now, everybody, from me, to you, and everybody in the world, they have their own versions of power. Now, what is Rapsody's version of power?
I think my greatest version of power is self-awareness, knowing who I am first. Once you know who you are and know what you stand for, I think everything else falls into place. So just being self-aware and knowing who I am and loving that person, that's powerful, and you don't have to fear anything. You lead with confidence and conviction and honesty, and once you have all those things on your side, it's kind of hard for anybody or anything to break you. So that's my biggest power.
All right, so man, it's some great MCs on the album, of course. Kendrick Lamar, Black Thought. You have Music Soul Child to Anderson .Paak. A lot of great artists and that's featured on this project. How competitive is these sessions, man? Because you're buzzing and you have these dope MCs, and I'm pretty sure each person want to tear each person's head off. So just explain the process of working with these great phenomenal artists.
It's just a good time. Everybody, on a project is family. I enjoy working with people that have good energy. We always kick each other. So, and in music, it can get competitive because, you want to be the best. You want to put out the best. So I look at it as a steel sharpens steel thing. It's great to compete because you both get better in the process. But especially, I think, for this record, we didn't necessarily approach it as, I'm trying to chop your head off. I think we just wanted to make really good music. And we approached it as, the music is the biggest ego in the room. I didn't have an ego. Kendrick, Anderson, Knight, who Black Thought, it's just, here's the song, it's this dope concept. How can I add my style to it? Kendrick has a style, how can I get on this record and add to it? So that was how we approached it, man. We just really had fun, just wanted to make really dope music. So.
And I read somewhere, Kendrick more kind of, I wouldn't want to say influence, but more kind of influenced you to re-release one of your projects after you heard To Pimp a Butterfly. Could you go in and explain a little bit about that?
To re-release a project?
Yeah, I read somewhere where it's stating about, your project, The Beauty and the Beast, and, it kind of influenced you to re-release it.
It wasn't necessarily influenced me to re-release it.
Okay.
After To Pimp a Butterfly came out, we started working on the album a month later. But, again, we worked on this album 2 years, so I got so much attention and fanfare from being on that album because, one. It's one of the best albums I think ever made, and it was just a really anticipated album. So for me to be the only rap feature with a full verse on it, you know, I got a lot of attention, so we didn't want to miss that. So, you know, I put out Beauty and the Beast that October, November before I found out I was going to be on Kendrick's album. So we re-released the EP, you know, just to gain more fans and introduce them to the music. You know, that was just the whole idea of that. Was, you know, just a strategic business move. So, you know, you got all these new eyes on you, re-release the project so they know, like, yo, we just put this out, you should check it out type thing. Because we knew it was going to be a while before the album came out.
So my last question, you know, there's a lot of jewels and things that was being dropped in this album. What would you want people to take the most out of this project?
I just think, again, you know, just being comfortable in your own skin and giving yourself flowers, learning to love yourself, to understand that you are human, that you're going to make mistakes. But at the end of the day, you know, we're just seeds being planted, and in life you're going to have people to water you and grow. And so it's all about growth at the end of the day. Just growing as people, you know, so that was it, you know, just give yourself flowers, love yourself, and love the next person, you know, give flowers to them too. So, yeah, you know, that's just the message. Be inspired to love more fans.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Rapsody. They can get your album. You guys can get Laila's Wisdom, Apple, iTunes, Tidal, wherever you can buy it legally. Go ahead and copy it. I appreciate the love, Rapsody.
Oh, no problem. Thank you again.
It's all good. And